speed trap. Kankinen's time 1:50. Through that tricky finish over the bridge. Let's see. Oh yes, 8 seconds slower than Kankinen, only 9th quickest on the stage. That will, I'm afraid, unseat him from the first second. He's gone down the leaderboard now. The computer's working it out. As a result of that, I'm afraid Llewellyn no longer leads the rally. The rally being led by Kankinen from Ericsson. But Llewellyn still there, 9th overall.
Now here we have one of our most popular drivers in Britain, Jimmy McRae. Jimmy McRae, 5 times British champion, 6 times winner of the Circuit of Ireland Rally. Only started rallying when he was in his 30s, now 44, and of course head of the great McRae clan, because son Colin is going to be coming up behind him before too long. Jimmy has had some good runs on this rally. He was 3rd a couple of years ago. Last year changed to Toyota and of course retired after the 3rd stage, which was very sad. Immensely popular driver, immensely likeable person. Jimmy McRae should be in with a very good chance, but of course the disadvantage is the 2-wheel drive Cosworth.
McRae had a guest appearance, of course, for Mitsubishi on the Acropolis and finished the fine 4th. 98 miles an hour, the Sierra very quick through that speed trap. 98 miles an hour, only 1 mile an hour slower than Kankinen in that fastest time. That's mighty quick in the Sierra, but of course it has front engine rear wheel drive, and now he could do with 4-wheel drive, couldn't he?
Indeed. I think the Cosworth will get the fastest time to our speed trap. These are the most powerful cars on the rallies, marvellous cars, but it has to be said that 4-wheel drive is the thing that you need when you get into the forests on an event like this. And although Ford are one of those magnificent rally teams, are developing a 4-wheel drive car for later in the year, at the moment they must be at a disadvantage, only being 2-wheel drive.
Nicely taken there. A flying Scotsman coming down towards this final left-hander at the finish here at Chatsworth. Over the bridge, we hope, safely. Yes, using all the road, very nearly clipping the bridge there with his tail.
One of the most spectacular drivers and cars just leaving the start line now,
Armin Schwartz now. West German in the big Audi 200 Quattro. Let's watch him, 4-wheel drive, big car. Knows how to handle it though.
He was the great surprise of the rally last year, of course. We hadn't really heard about Armin, and he appeared here and climbed high, got 5th position overall in the heavy Audi, and really impressed everybody. And in fact, it's rumoured that he's being talked to by some of the works teams for next year. And I'm not sure we could see him in a Toyota works car before.
There's a vacancy in that team. Yes, he could well be filling it.
He's running on intermediate tyres here, all the different tyres that the drivers can select for these stages, different tyres for different conditions and different surfaces. He's on intermediate, but he said before he started that he felt that he could have used racing slicks on this stage. We shall see.
91 miles an hour through the speed trap, the big Audi. It takes some stopping, all those brakes going on. Yes, with great relief, no doubt. He's getting into the twisty bit and avoiding that tree. Yes, that's good. Number 22, Armin Schwartz in the Audi.
Many people say he's the next Walter Röhrl, one of the greatest ever rally drivers. Walter Röhrl, the German world champion, who doesn't regrettably do much rallying now. He's still signed by Audi. Armin is following in his fellow countryman's footsteps.
Mopping up the big bump. Yes, oh yes. That's a large luxury car, and not an ideal rally car, I'd have thought, but still, maybe that's all part of the idea behind the engine, to show what a large car can do.
Well, of course, many people are running Audis privately and doing very well in World Championship
and
events.
a very quick time, 9th quickest, and only 7 seconds quicker, 7 seconds slower than Kankinen there. So, a good performance by Schwartz in the Audi. This is Mickey Finn, Michael Sundstrom with UR Rappo in a privately run Mazda 323 4-wheel drive. Finn's in the car here, running this private Mazda to the same specification, though, as the works cars we've already seen of Salonen, Mikkola and Carlson. This is Michael Sundstrom.
Michael, 32 years of age, comes from Finland, from Espoo, which is where all the great rally drivers come from. Hannu Mikkola, Ari Vatanen, Marco Allen, they all live in Espoo near Helsinki, the street of 1,000 rally drivers, they all come from there. Mikkola is in fact the the Finnish champion. He's won 5 of the 10 rounds in Finland this year. And he also won an amazing event that they had for TV and won 1 million Finnish marks, which sounds pretty extravagant.
Famous, of course, on the Top Gear coverage on last year's event. You may remember as he goes 96 miles an hour on all 4 wheels. Last year, you may remember he 3-wheeled out of a special stage rather spectacularly, but sadly couldn't get it fixed and was one of the retirements. Going well, though, here. 150 the time to beat. This is Sundström in the Mazda.
Drove for Peugeot for a couple of years over here in Britain and was actually, he won the Scottish Rally for them.
Heading for the yump. Yumping well. Yes, a very neat performance there. 150 the time to beat. Clock ticking away. 147, 148 into the last bend over that bridge. Very easy to mess it all up there, but the Mazda's pretty short wheelbase and through it goes, no problem at all. 154, that is a quick time, only 4 seconds slower than the leading Toyota of Kankkunen, and that was a works car. The leaderboard on this stage, let's have a look at it now. Here it is, Kankkunen Toyota from Ericsson Toyota, just 1 second separating their times. Pentti Ricola in the Mitsubishi, fine performance there in 3rd place on the stage. Carlos Sainz, the Toyota, is 4th equal along with Eklund and Sundström's times in the Lancia and Mazdas. Vatanen, 7th quickest in the Mitsubishi, and Mikkola 8th quickest in the Mazda. The times here on the Chatsworth stage, the second of the 2 Chatsworth stages, the 4th stage of the rally.
And this is Sebastian Lindholm, another of the Finns. In fact, Sebastian's very, very competent, very fast driver, but he's had his share of accidents and incidents and was leading the Scottish Rally earlier this year and went off in a big way, and he's going off here in a big way. I mean, that is a unique line through the corner, you must admit, taking the tapes with him and being very lucky to avoid those horrible large rocks that the organisers have placed on the outside of the bend.
And the Duke of Devonshire's railings. Spare a thought for them.
His co-driver is Seppo Harjan, who another Finn who used to be Timo Salonen's co-driver when they won the World Championship. So he's got a very experienced man sitting next to him, and he looks as though he needs it at this stage.
This Lancia Delta HF Integrale, not quite so developed as the Eklund and Recalde Lancias we've seen go through already, but still could be there at the finish and could surprise everybody.
Very exuberant driver, and as we can see there, and I think that probably the experience of Seppo next to him is going to help on this rally, and I think we could have a good result from him, but he certainly needs taming and keeping under control this time.
You reckon you could handle the job there, Tony?
Not very exciting this weekend, thank you, going with Roger yesterday.
12th quickest there, 12th quickest. And now another of the Sierra Cosworths, this driven by Franco Cunico, with the very experienced Terry Harriman, once the co-driver, of course, for Ari Vatanen, sitting beside him. This is Italy's hope, I suppose, for future stardom. They already have a world champion, of course, Mickey Biasian, but Cunico and Ford together hope they're going to go places, particularly when they have 4-wheel drive.
I must say, slightly odd to find Franco, very, very competent driver, and he's the Italian champion, 79, and for the last 3 years won Italian Group N, done some events in the Group A, the very fast Cosworth, and it seems very odd to us that he's really sort of flying the flag for Ford on this rally with very little experience in the forests or on loose. Nevertheless, he entered the Audi Sport Rally a couple of months ago, and in fact was putting some very, very fast times, but crashed. And it was then decided to help him by putting Terry Harriman, the experienced co-driver that you mentioned, Richard. He's going to sort of help him through the forest somewhat. Very competent driver, but I think he'll have his work cut out.
Quick time there through the speed trap, 97 miles an hour, though these Ford Sierra Cosworths are mighty powerful and mighty quick on the quick bits. Now he's into the slippery, narrow bits.
32 years of age, won the Targa Florio in the Lancia 037 in 1983.
Very cautious approach, though. I think Mr. Harriman is keeping him well under control.
In fact, they must have a communication problem, because I met Franco a couple of days ago, and he doesn't actually speak very much English, and I'm sure that Terry Harriman doesn't speak too much Italian, so It's all hand signals, maybe.
It seems to be working. 150 the quickest time. 155, 156, the clock ticking away. It'll be around the 12 seconds or so slower. Precisely, yes, 12 seconds slower than Kankkunen. 16th quickest on the stage so far. Matt Johnson is next. Another GM runner. There's Brian Thomas. They're using the Opel Cadet. Get them mixed up quite easily. Vauxhall Astras and Opel Cadets, but this is the Opel badged GM car, the Opel Cadet GSI with its 16-valve engine. 31-year-old Swede heading for the gate posts and through them safely. Down the twisty, bumpy part of the track. Quite daunting going down there, I should think, Tony, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. Those gates, I'm surprised nobody's clobbered it, actually, but the very narrow gates and very undulating, and when we were practicing yesterday, it was full of pheasants, but they seem to have very sensibly got out of the way today.
Bit of a handbrake being used there by the Swede. Hereford co-driver Brian Thomas reading the notes.
He was, Mats was 8th on the Scottish and the Welsh, so he's got some experience of our forests here in Britain. He, in fact, was 4th behind Malcolm Wilson in New Zealand.
90 miles an hour through the speed trap, on with the brakes. There goes that handbrake again.
No, he wasn't too sure about it. He kept popping it on and off, it looked to me.
Yes, have I given it enough handbrake or not? Anyway, got round okay, and those wheel rims and those tyres, the all-important tyres, safely past the large stones.
Most of these drivers, particularly Mats here, will be doing left-foot braking. This used to be the province of the Swedes and the Finns, but now the Brits all do it as well. Left-foot braking so that you keep the power on going through all these corners. Takes a bit of getting used to, but once it's there, it certainly helps.
Really having a go. Front-wheel drive. Ooh. Bit of left-foot braking going on there as he approaches the bridge. And gets good traction through there, pulling a high gear. 2:01, 11 seconds. 11 seconds slower than Kankkunen, but a pretty good performance there.
Here we are, the young man from Scotland, Colin McRae. We've seen his father, Jim. Here is Colin, 23 years of age now, and probably one of our brightest hopes for the future. He's driven Fords all year, Group N cars on some of the national championships, and he's been allowed in the odd Group A car as well. He came 5th in New Zealand when he got a driver. Father took him out to New Zealand to have a go, and it was a tremendous result. Colin has had a lot of criticism from the press because he can't really do right. If he does well, they say, well, he's Jimmy McRae's son, and if he does badly, they say, well, his father should have told him to slow down. But in fact, he's probably our brightest hope in the future as super driver, and he's tamed himself a little bit better in the last few events.
Only 23 years of age, Colin McRae, and he did beat his dad on the recent Audi rally, which was quite some drive, I felt. Best performance personally in Colin McRae. I think he was 3rd overall there. Beat his dad in getting there. So a fine hope for the future from Scotland, from
98, that's another fast time.
Through that speed trap. Avoiding the steady. Very wayward tail under control.
Now it'll be interesting to see, we were keeping a little time of what time they go through the water splash. Father Jimmy was at 1:36, let's see, 1:36, identical time so far to his father.
The young flight landing quite heavily there, though, wasn't it? Quite a nasty bump at the front, but obviously pretty ample sump guard there to protect the underneath of the engine. And he goes very neatly over that bridge, not taking any chances there. 10 seconds slower than Kankkunen, 15th overall to young Colin McRae. And interestingly,
identical time to father, 2 minutes dead for the stage, Colin and Jim. Isn't that marvellous?
Yes, that certainly is. No, McRae is absolutely equal there. 14th equal on the stage so far. Valencia coming down. This is driven by Gustavo Trellis with Daniel Gazio. It's also a Lancia Delta HF Integrale, which we've seen already, but this one is in the Group N showroom category, so not nearly so modified, just with rally safety modifications really. Very much a showroom category, this. And Lancia, I think it's fair to say, were pretty disappointed they didn't win this category in the World Championship. It was won by Renault with Alan Oray, who we aren't seeing on this event. But this car might have done it, and this driver might have done it, but he didn't. But he hopes to win Group N here, no doubt. Gustavo Trellis.
Trellis from Uruguay, come a long way from home, the Uruguay driver. He actually lives in Spain and he competes there on the Spanish Championship. And he's probably got a very good chance on Group N on this event, I think.
Up for the disappointment of crashing out of the Ivory Coast Rally and giving that Group N victory to Alain Oray and Renault. Lancia's leading hope for a success on this event, I would have thought, in Group N. Heading now for the Yump, whatever that is in Uruguayan, and heading for the finish in the first of the Group N cars. Lots more cars will be passing through here as the rest of the morning progresses. Gustavo Trellis in the Group N Lancia complete the stage, 21st overall. Pretty good in the first, of course, of the Group N times. The leaderboard on the stage, Ewa Kankinen, the quickest here from Kenneth Eriksson. Pentti Ricola, third quickest behind those two Toyotas and the first of the Mitsubishis. Then it's Carlos Sainz for Toyota. Per Eklund in the private Lancia, fifth quickest. Miki Sundström in another Lancia, sixth quickest. In a Mazda, I should say, and then it's Vatanen in the Mitsubishi, Mikkola 8th in the Mazda, and 9th Ingvar Carlsen. Back to William Woolard.
Well, with 29 cars gone through this stage, obviously rather more tricky than many would have thought, particularly on this slippery hairpin bend here. But before we leave this stage, let's have one more driver's eye view of Chatsworth Park through our camera mounted in the Mitsubishi Galant, driven by Pentti Ricola.
Into right 4 and jump left 3 minus 150, junction left 6, into left 7 long, left 7 long, brilliant.
Well, very slippery indeed, as you can see. Right, time now to go over to Alan Douglas in the control room in Nottingham to bring us up to date.
Well, only 4 stages gone, but already plenty of action, plenty of incidents.
I have my suitcase with me.